fight fans, we are live.
Some breaking news. Sam Kerr is joining Chelsea on a 2.5-year deal.
Wow, that's what it's all about.
Easily browse at his own schedule to see upcoming fights or catch up on recent events. Never miss a punch by setting reminders that alert you on your mobile device.
I am here with the main event, Jay Swingler. How are you feeling?
Absolutely fantastic.
Are you not entertained?
Watch where he catches this, and look at his body positioning, and he has to pull that back around under his feet.
Navigate fight night with key moments. Replay the rounds and the action you want to see again and again.
Into the water for the final time. He's won the race to go along with a championship.
Absolutely magnificent. What a stroke that is.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Welcome to the American Airlines Center here in Dallas, Texas. Just 24 hours away now from the fight that we've been waiting for. The problem child, Jake Paul, takes on the certain UFC future Hall of Famer, Nate Diaz. We're going to make it official. It's the weigh-ins, and it's live on DAZN.
This is it. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view August 5th. An icon of the MMA game, ready for war against a global superstar. Set to bring the pain, to silence the haters, and leave one victorious. Like it or not, this is the most explosive fight of the year. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Ready for war. August 5th, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view. Sign up at DAZN.com.
Yeah, it's getting busy in here. I like it. It's getting busy. The DJ's doing his stuff as well. Adi Ladipo, at Barack. Showtime Sean Porter as well, who I didn't know knew how to dress down. And normally I see him in a three-piece. This is nice.
I came prepared for one night of action.
Indeed it is. Look, we're here. We're going to make it official. It is the weigh-ins. The stage is set, as you can see behind us. We are going to see the weights from everyone, including Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, our main event as well. Guys, we're one sleep away. We're going to make it official, Act.
Yeah, for the big one, yeah. I mean, Nate might be in the mall shopping. Adi and I ran into him in the mall yesterday.
Chilling.
So relaxed, chilling. I mean, normally a fight a couple of days before a fight. Sean, you can attest to this.
Shopping.
They're not shopping. You're in the room, chilling, resting.
Yeah.
Nate was hanging out yesterday, so it goes to show you how calm he is about this one.
Yeah, he's done this before, isn't it? He's done this rodeo before. He's been in big fights. Yes, not in boxing, but in the UFC, those fights against Conor McGregor, Anthony Pettis, Tony Ferguson, he's done this before.
Yeah, many, many times. He's done this before, but he's never had to deal with what you call them, an internet disruptor or something like that.
Disruptor.
So, did you notice how he was egging at him, trying to get Nate Diaz out of character? And then at the press conference, it kind of worked. I mean, a fight broke out afterwards, but it kind of worked. So, how's he going to come into the ring? Is he going to come into the ring prideful and saying, "Oh, I'm just going to blow this kid out," or what?
Yeah, Sean, what are you expecting? There's been so much made about how Nate fights in the ring. We've seen Jake Paul, right? Tommy Fury, Anderson Silva. We haven't seen much of Nate Diaz. We've seen little snippets, but not much.
I got to be honest, I'm a little worried that he was at the mall yesterday. I know that shows that he's calm and all those kinds of things.
A little too calm.
But when you're at your pinnacle in the UFC world, what were you doing a couple of days before the fight?
Good question.
You still got to operate the same, you know what I mean? When you're not operating the same, that's what lets you know, like, hey, how connected is
maybe his guard is down a little bit too low.
Maybe. But on the other side of that, when you come from a world like the UFC, you can't be taking the problem child too serious.
But Sean, oftentimes people talk about a guy getting out of character because he's frustrated, right? So Jake is an expert at getting people out of character, but a guy that's aggressive like Nate, that thrives off of that, will that serve him well getting upset?
Absolutely. You put that red in his eyes well before the fight, and now we just got to be patient and wait on it. That's something that a lot of fighters, we go to the ring hungry, and now you just made Nate Diaz.
Especially a guy that's not going off a technique. He's going off just aggressiveness.
It's funny you say that, like, in terms of Nate needing to see the red. Right. And we spoke about Ariel Helwani yesterday, and he said the reason that Nate walked away from their face-off was because Jake was giving him too many plaudits. Oh. He's like, I don't want to hear plaudits. I want to get mad. Don't try and be nice to me. So he walked away because he isn't here to play games. And he said this to us yesterday. He's here to fight. Right. And I think he's going to fight on Saturday.
That's the rebuttal for what I just said. I'm saying, like, I'm checking your temperature. You at the mall. What's going on? But if you're getting compliments, you're like, yo, I don't want to hear that. Get out of my face. That's not what I need to hear right now. Who doesn't want to compliment? You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is them yesterday, the final press conference. And in a few seconds, it kicks off between security. But I can already tell here, Nate's like, you really want to fight? Look. You really want to fight?
Right before that, he was saying, listen, we're not fighting. We're just participating in a boxing match. So to him, this is nothing. Real fighting is fighting to him.
Yeah.
Punching without gloves.
What do you make of Jake Paul's shape, by the way? Look at that. He looks in great shape there.
We mentioned it all week. I mean, Larry Wade and Sean could speak to that, all right, as far as, how effective was Larry in your career? And do you see that in Jake's shape right now?
You usually can't do something like that in a 8 camp.
Right.
They've been together for months.
Wow.
So they've been going at it for months down there in Puerto Rico, workouts on the beach, the whole nine. So what you are seeing is a true representation of what Wade has done and the work that Jake Paul has put in, not just with Wade, but also for himself as well.
Even with the hands as well. I mean, we talk about Jake having only done this for 5 years. I watch him, and you can tell this is a guy that's now dedicated to the craft of boxing. He takes it seriously because his improvements from when I first saw him fight KSI's younger brother Deji to the guy that fought Tommy Fury and to the guy that's hitting pads there, he's making those jumps a lot.
Has it been 5 years already? Because I keep saying 3 or 4. Is it 5?
Wow. 5 years ago, yeah.
5 years actively.
5 years.
Wow.
Semi-actively, but actively.
Semi-actively. I think it's this. I think, when a fighter loses.
I don't know. You guys, I don't know if the real hardcore boxing fans count the YouTube fights.
No, he fought.
Do you count the YouTube fights?
Fought.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Semi-active.
I say
is that active or not?
I say
and
active from when he
paid, he was fighting.
Active. I get active.
Hey, right.
Listen, but I want to know what his mindset is because, usually a loss humbles a fighter. You might not get humbled publicly, but you go back in the gym and you're humbled and you want to work on that foundation, and sometimes it helps you to become better. Am I right?
Absolutely. I know that he changes his camp just a little bit. Obviously, the addition to Coach Wade, I think that he saw maybe even, I thought he beat Tommy Fury, but even in that loss, I think that he may have seen, hey, these are some of the things I need to tweak. For him, again, 5 years pro as a professional athlete, and to know that these are the things that I need to add to what I have going on, right. He's supposed to get better after every fight.
So that knockdown kind of put it over the edge for you.
Yeah.
Knockdown Tommy Fury.
Yeah, that was a hard fight to score. I mean, we don't need to go back to it, but everybody was getting points taken. He was getting points added. I didn't know what was going on.
What about the criticism that he received for coming back after fighting a boxer, losing a close decision, and going back to the MMA world. Even though Nate has a reputation of having good hands.
Let's be honest, this is where he belongs.
Right.
For now.
For now.
True. For now. Let's not fake the funk here.
Yeah, but Sean, I've been talking about it all week, and nobody better to talk to you than this. You know, professional guys who've had amateur backgrounds, right? Their first 5-6 fights, they weren't fighting top opposition.
No.
So why can't it accept a guy that's been fighting for 5 years, fighting a guy like Nate?
You can't. It's not about accepting it in its truest form.
Right.
Accept it for what. That he's a fight. He's an athlete, professional athlete. He has his card, his ID. Yeah. He's a professional athlete who brings an audience to the arenas where he fights, and that's why he's getting paid what he's getting paid, and he's getting in the ring with who he's getting in the ring.
That's what I always say. Like, boxing is different from every other sport. All you need is a license, pass a medical, and that's it. But it's not like you're fighting on one organization. You're fighting whatever night you pick with your own promotional company. Yeah. So that means you don't have to watch it if you don't like it.
Yeah. Right. By the way, I mean, look at the crowd that he's brought in here for the weigh-in, and we're hearing it's sold out as well tomorrow as well. You can't get a ticket. Don't slide in my DMs. You ain't getting one. It's completely sold out. 17,000 people is going to pack the arena tomorrow, which is fantastic. Yeah. It shows that Jake still is that bull. Even after the defeat, as you mentioned, to Tommy Fury, people still want to see him fight.
I think the main thing, I'm sorry, but I think the main thing is people want to know now, like, who are you after this defeat, you know? How hungry are you now? Do you still even care about boxing, or is your job done? You know what I mean? So for him to come in here, do what he's done, the fighters that he's putting on the undercard,
love that.
He's still doing a lot.
And let's talk about the risks that he's taking in that ring. With all the hoopla and the negativity about Jake, he's still training for 2.5 months and risking his life inside a ring. We're talking professional boxing, no headgear, 10-ounce gloves. People are forgetting that.
Right. I think sometimes when you're undefeated, too, you have jitters of losing that O. Once you lose it, at least that fear goes away, and you can focus on other things.
That's true, Sean.
Listen, what was that, a 6-round fight he had with Tommy? Eight round fight. Right around that 6th, 7th round, you don't feel comfortable, and that's when that jittery feeling comes in. Like, how's this gonna end? I gotta get it, and all these other different things, you know. So now he's had to go through that energy, and now it's about just coming and showing all his fans, like, hey, don't forget who I am.
Well, are these his fans, though? Are these his fans or Diaz fans?
A lot of Nate fans over here.
Oh, excuse me.
Indeed, Jake Paul, as we can see in the building. He's having a look around as well. Okay, I like it. This is where I'm going to fight tomorrow, 17,000. It gets bigger and bigger. But what's he want from this? And I'm not talking from this fight. I'm talking from this journey. What does he want to do? I remember he joked about I could beat Canelo a couple of years ago, which didn't go well to the hardcore boxing fans. What does he want to do? What does he want to achieve?
Outside of making tons of money, right?
He's rich already.
No, I know, but look, like Barack brought up a good point. Look, he's making big paydays, but I think it's more so proving to the naysayers that he is a real boxer, right? And he needs to be respected as one. I think he's going to continue to do this. And look, if he wins big knockout against Nate Diaz, I think eventually we'll see him fight another fighter, but at the right pace.
To answer your question, Adi, I think, people like this who kind of like grow up in the public eye, they're risk takers, and they challenge themselves all the time. I think secretly he's just challenging himself. Listen to the things he said after he lost. He said, listen, I didn't even think I can go this far. Meanwhile, he said he can beat Canelo and all that other stuff. So he's really challenging himself and seeing how far he can go.
The wonderful Amanda Serrano. Me and Ak were so lucky to have breakfast with Amanda Serrano today.
And we got
a little bit of shopping.
Wait a minute, breakfast before the weigh-in? Now, if she misses weight, y'all fault.
We had the breakfast.
We had the breakfast.
She was watching.
So you ate in front of her.
You got to do what you got to do. Someone buys your breakfast. It's rude not to eat.
Very generous, Amanda.
Very generous. But look, she was talking to us about her story and her journey. She said even when she was a 5-weight world champion, she was still fighting for $3,000.
Yes.
Wow. That's the journey she's gone to get to where she's getting now, where she's getting 6 and 7 figures. How impressive is that?
And so, is it safe to say thank God for Jake Paul?
Thank God for Jake Paul.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of variables that played a part in that journey that we talked about. We'll get into it at some other point. But the fight that people are talking about and wanting out, because Katie Taylor can't happen right now, is Alicia Baumgartner. He'll be on a broadcast tomorrow, and she's in the building today. Maybe we'll get a little action in the ring after Amanda's fight. I don't know.
You know when you say people, is it you specifically that keeps talking about this fight?
Yes.
Or is it
it's you.
It sounds like it's you.
I'm starting to wave.
Starting to wave. Yeah. Secretly getting some of that promotional money from Alicia.
But you know why she's here, right? right? She wants to make Amanda feel uncomfortable. She wants her to see, I'm here, I'm on your tail, I want next.
And as she should. As she should. Every fighter should go and chase someone that's above them in the pound-for-pound rankings and someone that's above them in the money rankings. If that's a fight you'd like to see, Sean, Alicia Baumgartner versus Serrano?
I do. I think that Alicia coming up and taking on Amanda Serrano, I think it's a great boxing match in women's boxing. We don't get a lot of those, you know. A lot of fights are one-sided, and I think that one will be more evenly matched. I would bet on the younger Alicia. I think that and again, while she's here, she's here gloating.
Yeah, she's here.
Let's be real.
And by the way, she's here in shape.
Yeah.
She's trying to say there is no off days for me.
Bruh.
I'm here in shape.
I hugged her, and it's like nothing but muscle on her back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's here to also show, like, hey, I'm undisputed, and I'm where you used to be.
Indeed.
You know?
I like it. The fight, it's a great fight. Fingers crossed it can happen sometime very soon. All right, ready to get this show on the road. The great Jimmy Lennon Jr. behind me is waiting for me to throw to him. So I'm going to throw to him now. Remember, it's the undercard weigh-ins first, a little pause, and then the co-main and main. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to the weigh-in. From the American Airlines Center here in Dallas, Texas, the site of tomorrow night's huge night of boxing featuring 9 bouts, 68 rounds scheduled. Our co-main event of the evening features the women's undisputed featherweight championship of the world. And of course, the main event of the evening, the highly anticipated showdown, Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Well, fans, a big night of action is brought to you courtesy of Most Valuable Promotions, Real Fight Inc., in association with Holden Boxing, and is live on DAZN globally and presented sponsors by Celsius. Live Fit, essential energy drink for an active lifestyle. By Fansly. Visit fansly.com/Paul Diaz for exclusive content from Fight Week and Fight Night and better. Fantasy just got better. Play better picks and you can win up to 100 times your money. Well, fans, let's bring out our fighters for our preliminary bouts, starting with our first bout, 4 rounds in the super lightweight division. Please welcome, making his boxing debut, the MMA veteran known as the Autobot. Please welcome C.J. Hamilton. C.J. Hamilton weighs in at 136.9 pounds, 136.9. And now please welcome his opponent in his 5th professional bout with MMA veteran from Buenos Aires, Argentina, Luciano Ramos. Luciano Ramos, official weight 140 pounds, 140 even. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. First fight of the night, Luciano Ramos versus C.J. Hamilton. And we continue with our weigh-in, our second prelim bout, 4 rounds once again from Ventura, California. His record is 2-1 as a professional. Please welcome Noel Cavazos. Noel Cavazos weighs in 148.6 pounds, 148.6. And his opponent, a Real Fight Inc. boxer in his second professional bout. Please welcome Jose Aguayo. And Jose Aguayo's official weight, 149.4 pounds. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss the action. Jose Aguayo, Noel Cavazos, our second preliminary bout of the evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite up to the stage Real Fight Inc. boxer in his 18th professional bout. Please welcome Kilicito Madera. And Kilicito Madera's official weight, 164.9 pounds, 164.9. And now his opponent, a celebrated amateur fighter in his 19th professional bout. Please welcome Kevin Newman III. Kevin Newman III weighs in, the second weighs in at 161.8 pounds, 161.8 for Kevin Newman II. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, super middleweights, 8 rounds of boxing. Don't miss the action. They'll have to hold on until tomorrow. Kevin Newman II versus Kilicito Madera. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to move on to our pay-per-view portion of our big night of action tomorrow, available on DAZN, ESPN Plus, and all major cable and satellite providers, with the latest news that tomorrow night is officially sold out. If you don't have tickets, you'll have to watch them on pay-per-view. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we bring out our fighters, my pleasure to introduce and be the center man in the ring, as he is the co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, Nakisa Badarian. Well, fans, our opening pay-per-view attraction features welterweights in the ring, scheduled 8 rounds of boxing. We welcome to the scale at this time, with a fine record of 17-1 with 10 knockouts, the southpaw battler from Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico. Please welcome Angel, 144.4 pounds, 144.4. And now his opponent, fighting out of Fairfield, California, by way of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, the former WBC Continental Americas champion, Alan Sanchez. Alan Sanchez weighs in at the welterweight limit of 147 pounds. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Welterweights, 8 rounds of boxing open up our pay-per-view attraction. Alan Sanchez versus Angel Beltran. And now, fans, we present a special attraction, super middleweight attraction, 10 2-minute rounds of boxing. Please welcome from Chicago by way of Cincinnati. Muay Thai background, she is 7 wins, 1 defeat as a pro boxer. Please welcome the world ranked contender, Olivia Curry. Olivia Curry weighs in at 166.7 pounds, 166.7. And now her opponent, ladies and gentlemen, amateur star from Team USA, now with Most Valuable Promotions, undefeated with a record of 12 wins, no losses, 11 wins, coming by way of knockout, the top-ranked super middleweight contender. Please welcome the sweet Terminator, Sadasia Green. And Sadasia Green's official weight, 166.9. 166.9 for the sweet Terminator. And co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, Nakisa Badarian. Between the two of them, a special attraction, a women's super middleweight 10 2-minute rounds of boxing special attraction. And our next fight features lightweight, scheduled 8 rounds of boxing. First, please welcome, fighting out of St. Petersburg, Florida, by way of Sao Paulo, Brazil, the battle-ready veteran in his 35th professional bout. Please welcome William Babyface Silva. William Babyface Silva weighs in at 134.6 pounds, 134.6. And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, the gifted amateur star, now a world-ranked top prospect and rising young lightweight. His record is 9 wins, no losses, 8 wins, coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Ashton H2O Silva. And Ashton H2O Silv weighs in at 134 and 1/2 pounds, 134 and a half for the young rising star. Well, ladies and gentlemen, don't miss this one. The gifted young prospect versus the battle-ready veteran Ashton H2O Silv versus William Babyface Silva. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we moved on to our super middleweight attraction scheduled 6 rounds of boxing. First, please welcome the hard-hitting MMA veteran knockout artist in his second step into the squared ring. Please welcome Jeremy Lil Heathen Stevens.
Oh, yeah, come on.
The official weight for Jeremy Lil Heathen Stevens is 167 pounds. 167. And now his opponent from Stockton, California, the unstoppable MMA veteran, 3-1 as a boxer, Chris of Airline Center here in Dallas, Texas. Most Valuable Promotions and Real Fight Inc. in association with Holden Boxing present the weigh-in for the co-main event of the evening, 10 2-minute rounds for the women's undisputed featherweight championship of the world. First, please welcome to the stage the challenger. Hailing from Brooklyn, New York, seeking revenge tomorrow night in this rematch, please welcome the combat great, the former WBO featherweight champion of the world, Heather the Heat Hardy. Heather the Heat Hardy weighs in at 125.8 pounds, 125. And now, ladies and gentlemen, her opponent, the defending champion from Brooklyn by way of Puerto Rico, one of boxing's all-time greats, the 7-weight division world champion and the current undisputed featherweight champion of the world, the real deal, Amanda And the real deal Amanda Serrano weighs in at 124.6 pounds. 124.6 for the undisputed featherweight championship of the world. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, co-main event of the evening. The real deal Amanda Serrano versus Heather the Heat Hardy.
All right. I'm here with Heather Hardy. Heather, what did you say to each other up there?
Basically, just do what we do best. You know, two girls from Brooklyn, we got nothing but respect for each other. We're going to go out there tomorrow, put on the show. So, that's it.
Can't wait for it. Good luck to you. Make some noise for Heather, the Heat Hardy, everyone. Thank you, Heather. And now let's get a quick word with Amanda Serrano, the absolute legend, one of the greatest fighters in the world, regardless of gender, 7-division world champion, the undisputed champion at 126 pounds, the pride of Carolina, Puerto Rico. Amanda, what a big fight for you, a rematch fight from 4 years ago. What is the biggest difference between this version of Amanda Serrano and the one that beat Heather back in 2019?
I am the undisputed champion at featherweight. That's no difference.
That is a big difference, and you're going to look to defend those titles on Saturday. Can't wait for it. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy, guys.
Show some love to Amanda, the real deal Serrano, everyone.
Thank you to Ariel Helwani, respected longtime combat sports host, doing our interviews here today as well as tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, Most Valuable Promotions and Real Fight Inc. in association with Holden Boxing present the weigh-in for the main event of the evening, Paul versus Diaz, sponsored by Celsius. Live Fit, essential energy drink for an active lifestyle, and by Fansly. Visit fansly.com/Paul Diaz for exclusive content from Fight Week and Fight Night as well and better. Fantasy just got better. Play better picks and you can win up to 100 times your money. Well, fans, our main event of the evening, scheduled 10 rounds of boxing in a cruiser special weight attraction. First, please welcome to the stage and to the scale, the international star fighting out of Dorado, Puerto Rico by way of Cleveland. The Sports Illustrated Breakout Boxer of the Year with a professional record of 6-1 with 4 knockouts. The serial risk taker, popular social media superstar, the problem child, Jake Paul.
With this fight back going Gulf Stream all year, going big on you boys. GTB, please don't make me list off the toys. I've been trying to keep it humble for y'all, but the watch is 1 to 10, I'm sick of the noise. It's a daily, I don't feel no remorse. As I cover, but she feeling my voice. In a $16 million crib, couple acres where I sit and record. You would think this shit was filling the void. Hungry like I never been here before. Fuck a 1 a day, I did 2 a days, 3 a days, that's what opened the door. Chasing paydays, ended up on the floor. And I'm still staying poised, and we've been in a different bracket. Put my name up with the highest paid, top 10 for anyone asking. Fucked around and overlapped them, gapped them, they was caught up with relaxing. I've been laying out a blueprint for them, I've been doing it in fashion. Documentary on Netflix now, so they can tell you how it happened.
My family loves Jake Paul. My whole fucking family, everybody loves this little white motherfucker, you know what I mean? Yo, wait. He got balls, he got a fucking balls. You see a white boy with balls, you know? Fuck, I'm talking about some real, but like, fuck you, motherfucker.
The Paul name worth $1 billion. I'll be in it, go like a synonym. Cleveland couldn't see the vision then. Me and Braun made them witness it. Kale's got them all listening.
And the problem child is in at 185 pounds. 185 pounds for Jake Paul. And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, the popular combat star, icon from Stockton, California. A veteran of 34 MMA fights and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, making his boxing debut. Please welcome the one and only Nate Diaz. $184.9 pounds, 184.9. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss the action. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, main event, cruiserweight, 10 round of boxing. All the action takes place tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. It's combat sports history. Paul versus Diaz, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks in the USA and Canada on DAZN pay-per-view and all major cable and satellite pay-per-view providers in the U.S. You can catch it also on ESPN Plus, as well as globally on DAZN pay-per-view, Fight TV, and other distributions in your local market.
All right. All right. I am here with the one and only, the pride of Stockton, California, the pride of the 209, Nathan Diaz, about to make his pro boxing debut. Nate, what is the message to all these people? This sounds like Diaz country here. It sounds like there's a lot of fans of yours here coming to support you. What is your final message to them and to your opponent, Jake Paul, on Saturday night?
Hey, shout out to everybody for the love and support. Appreciate everybody coming out with love. And no matter how the fight goes, let's don't forget, this motherfucker can't really fight. Motherfucker. Fuck you. Hey, love. I'll see you next time. See you tomorrow.
Make some noise for Nathan Diaz, everyone. Here we go. Here we are with the problem child, Jake Paul. He said you can't really fight, Jake. What is your response to him?
Hey, they've been saying Nate's tough. Boo yourself, virgins. Boo yourself, virgins. Boo if you're a virgin, yeah. Yeah, boo if you're a virgin. What? You guys are virgins? Oh, shit.
What do you say? What do you say to him up there?
Man, they've been saying Nate's tough. Nate's a dog. Nate's a dog. Well, guess what, Ariel? Tomorrow, I'm dog walking that bitch. I'm putting them back on a leash, and I'm sending them back to the cage. I'm fucking them up, Ariel. I'm fucking them up.
Final words from Jake Paul. There he is, the problem child, everyone.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our weigh-in. Thank you very much for your attendance. We'll see you tomorrow night. Once again, it's a sold-out arena. You'll have to catch us if you don't have tickets on DAZN pay-per-view and all major cable and satellite pay-per-view providers. In the U.S., you can also catch it on ESPN as well as globally on DAZN, Fight TV, and other distributions in your local market. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
That was exciting. I enjoyed that. I'm not one of those people that like, when everyone's nice to each other at weigh-ins. I want to see a bit of animosity if it's real. I don't like the WWE stuff. If it's real, I don't mind it. That's real.
Yeah, but I really, especially with boxing matches, I really want to see the real face-off. The one face-to-face, nose-to-nose, Sean. Those are the face-offs that I look forward to. I hate when they have to have a security guard in between them.
Yeah. I always like to say the face-off isn't really necessary, but in some fights, in some cases, it is. Last week we had Errol Spence, James Crawford. That face-off is necessary because you get a chance to send a message to your opponent. Not only that, you get to receive a message from your opponent. Yeah. Is he really ready? Is he nervous? Is he thinking about something else? Is he real? You know what I mean? You get to see all that. That right there is just for the show. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of WWE right there.
Yeah. Speaking of message, I don't really like what Nate Diaz kind of sent. The message that he sent. He said, no matter how the fight goes,
didn't like it. I didn't like it.
This guy is not a real fighter, and that might say I might lose. I don't like that because I know how Nate Diaz in that octagon is.
So lack of confidence? Lack of confidence?
I don't know. Maybe because he's feeling I'm not a boxer. This guy's a boxer. I'm not. I don't know.
And I can see that. I can see that 100%. What's where Paul has been in the ring has been boxing, nothing else but boxing. Nate Diaz, first fight, first boxing match.
Right.
And I know you train MMA. They train for boxing, and a lot of them get their ass taxed. Let's keep it real. So maybe it's a little bit of that stemming from, hey, I don't got the kind of experience he got. No matter what happens here.
Nate Diaz has never been body beautiful. That's just not how it is, right? Whether it be at 155 or 170. But there was an extra tire around the waist there for me at 185. He's not in shape, is he? Or is that just how he is physically?
You skipped so many words, though. You said body beautiful. You skip body okay. He ain't never been body okay.
Yeah, that's true.
He ain't never been body all right.
I tell you what,
so much.
I tell you what, no spare tire. Jake Paul. Never seen him this in shape. I seen abs. He was ripped up. Again, credit to his team. I think this is the best version of Jake Paul physically. Let's see if that's going to translate in the ring.
Yeah, because regardless of the shape he is, if it comes down to gas tank, my money's always going to be with Nate Diaz. That guy does triathlons in his sleep. He's as fit as it goes. In the UFC, does 5 to 5 in his sleep. It's easy for him. He never gasses. His opponents always gas. I've seen Jake Paul gas in fights. I've seen the tank start to go empty very quickly.
Yeah, but you've seen Nate not gas in a cage. Yeah. Where he has moments to rest, lay on the ground. This is different. Boxing is
not
different.
Resting. It's harder to grapple.
So why did Conor McGregor get so tired against Floyd?
Because he's getting punched in his stomach for 10 rounds. 10 rounds, that's why. Listen, I think there's one thing that I'm worried about, and it's about Jake is worrying about being a boxer and training and being on weight. He's also worrying about promotion. He's also worrying about how many tickets are selling. He's worrying about all these other things.
He's a businessman.
He has to let go of those things. That's why he's acting up, so that people could buy the pay-per-view. And that's on his mind. So I want to know if he's able to just meditate, let that go, and go on the ring, focus on Nate Diaz.
Not to mention the pressure from what we saw last week in Vegas. Good turnout in pay-per-view numbers. Big fight for the fight fans. So it's a tough act to follow, but Jake is up for the task.
Sean, what did both fighters do now? What did you do 24 hours before the fight? You go to the hotel, get a massage. What do you do?
I know what Paul is doing. Paul's going back to his room. He's mellowing out. Yeah. Like you just said. Yeah. I think he's about to start getting focused on that. He's still going to do some work. He's still going to be on his phone, making sure things get sold and things like that. That he's a businessman. But let's be honest, businessmen, we're really good at multitasking. You notice I said we. But on the other side of that, what is Nate Diaz going to do? How prepared and focused is Nate Diaz on a 3-minute round boxing match? So no telling what Nate's going to do. What I think that he should do again, just like Jake, go back, mellow out, get half the
Don't get
crowd.
too mellow, because you might have to smoke to get real mellow.
But get half the crowd out of your life. You know what I mean? Not everybody, but get at least half of them out of your life and start really focusing in on the basics of boxing and what you need to do.
Quick word, Ak, on the females. Amanda Serrano and Heather Hardy. Obviously, we had Alicia Baumgartner up here. She wants that fight. Amanda Serrano looks good to go. She looks ready to go.
I mean, she's always ready. Amanda's never been not ready for all of her fights. She's a 7th division champion. And she's not looking past Heather, but she is in a way. I mean, she's been saying it all week. This is somewhat of a humanitarian fight, meaning she wants to make sure her homegirl from Brooklyn gets a payday before she's out. But trust me, Amanda has bigger fights ahead.
Yeah, it's weird. Amanda's giving her a payday. Amanda don't be fooled. She's still going to try and give her a beating as well.
Yes.
I mean, there might be friends outside the ring, but when Amanda gets in there in the ring, and Heather Hardy to her respect as well, they start to throw hands.
Just a quick story. One of my early fights, we had to pay the fighter more. Just like this fight right here. My dad said we had to pay him more. Get in his ass. You know what I mean? So
Why'd you have to pay him more?
I don't know what that situation was all about. Right. But like he said, I want to get my homegirl payday. But are you going to step it up and get what you paying for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're going to earn that money.
You got to earn that money, you know?
Well, she feels like Heather gave her a shot at her first title at 126 so she could be unified. So it kind of makes sense. But I heard something crazy when you guys was with Baumgartner. She said either I stay here at 130 or I can go down to 126 or maybe Serrano could come up. I never heard her say that she would go down to 126 to fight Amanda Serrano.
I don't know how. I'm standing next to her and I don't see where exactly the weight's coming from. Honestly, there is no more weight to lose. She's
going to have to lose muscle.
She's fantastic. Obviously, Alicia Baumgartner on the broadcast with us as well. Sean, do you give predictions? I know Barack doesn't. Do you do predictions,
No,
Sean?
I'm with Barack. That's why we're on this side.
You don't do predictions?
Well, we do. We do.
How do you think the main event plays out?
Our main event plays out very interesting. High volume from Nate. First 2 rounds. I disagree with you guys about his gas tank. I think he gasses out early, even though he's a tough guy. I think Jake could be in better shape, and the fight ends within 6 rounds.
Okay. No, I don't give predictions. That's just Act doing it now. That's it. Act just giving predictions. Let's have a look at the full fight card as well. Some interesting fights there. I mean, what I like as well is Ashley Silva against William Silva. But here we go. Angel Beltran versus Alan Sanchez. Shadisha Green. Everyone wants to see her against Olivia Curry. H2O Silva versus William Silva. Jeremy Stevens versus Christopher Villa. Big MMA fight, that one. I like it. Amanda Serrano versus Heather Hardy for the undisputed featherweight titles. And Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Remember, the prelims get underway 5 p.m. local, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then the pay-per-view broadcast gets underway 7 p.m. local, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. We'll all be there. You guys will be there as well. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is it. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view August 5th. An icon of the MMA game, ready for war against a global superstar. Set to bring the pain, to silence the haters, and leave one victorious. Like it or not, this is the most explosive fight of the year. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Ready for war. August 5th, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view. Sign up at DAZN.com.